Good afternoon, fifth grade champions. Today we are continuing our reading of Falcon Wild by Lynn Johnson. Yesterday we found out that the main character's raptor will need to be returned to its owner in Canada. And she's a little distraught over that happening. So I'm going to go back just a little bit and go to the beginning of page 20, which begins the place where she's still trying to determine what's really happening, and she's not pleased about Stark going to its true owner. In one smooth movement, I hold my gloved hand in front of her legs and gather the Jessies. She flaps twice as she steps onto my fist and studies me. There is no memory of what happened in her gaze, no remorse or unease. I don't flinch as I bring my cheek next to hers, breathe in her slightly feral scent, and croon to her. I swear she likes this. She stands bold and proud, and I admire how her mottled white coloring contrasts with the black trim on her tail and primary feathers. Her breast feathers are coarse under my hand as I run my fingers through them. I counted the days until her molt was over last month. When her new set of feathers grew in, I could start flying her. That's when I could finally tell that she was lure trained and so smart. It made me seethe to think someone just ditched her or didn't care that her transmitter got lost and she couldn't be tracked. She didn't know how to feed herself or how to get home or how to live in the wild. She nearly died. How would it feel to be abandoned like that? I wanted her to know someone cared. I told her I'd always be there for her. So I found out where you're from. I can hardly say it out loud, but don't worry. I'm going to go with you so I can meet this guy and see your muse. If it doesn't seem good enough for you, I'm bringing you right back here, okay? Stark studies me and then sneezes, misting me with her bird snot. I agree. Let's do one more together. I slip a transmitter over her head and check the signal on the frequency. Her hood goes on next. I cinch the braces with my free hand and teeth. This way she is calm as I carry her to the back field. Still, nervous energy charges through me. I cup my hand, making a triangle with the side of my thumb and first knuckle. This is the place a falcon sits, right on your fist. Stark's long talons clench and unclench as she bounces on my gauntlet while I walk. I ignore the ache in my arm where she nailed me. My breathing matches her grip. I face into the breeze and it ruffles through her feathers, making her hop with excitement. I know how you feel, I tell her. With a wind like this, she wants to fly so badly, and a part of me does too. I stop in our usual place. The prairie sage sways in the open field and my skin tingles with anticipation. I try to ignore that this is our last flight together. A quiver travels up my chest and ends on my lip. Don't let her see you unsure. I shake my head and grow a smile. Here you go, girl. I pull off her hood, this time fully focused, and watch her take in her surroundings. She looks round, rouses, and poops, shooting a healthy-looking mute straight down. She glances at me briefly before crouching and leaping off my gauntlet. When she unfolds her wings to their full size, the sun reflects off her white plumage. It makes my throat tight. She is fit for a king. No wonder gyrfalcons were once flown only by royalty. My next breath hitches as I watch Stark soar. Falconers aren't supposed to wonder if my bird will come back, but I can't help it after what happened yesterday. The scariest part of falconry is being so attached to an animal that can break your heart in a moment. All she has to do is keep flying and disappear. She pivots back and hurtles past my head and then rises again to begin climbing like steers in the sky, spiraling up and up all around me. I start to breathe again. I let her ride the thermals. When I fly her like this, it's as if I'm soaring with her. I can almost feel the biting wind in my face. I am free and wild and brave. Stark swivels her head in my direction. She fixes her steady gaze on me as she soars. I must be patient, but the hope inside me is so big I can hardly stand it. Will she fly higher still, like a falcon is supposed to? Will I be able to swing the lure right, letting her hurtling body get close but not hitting her with it? There are so many ways to fail, and I want our last flight together to be perfect. I automatically scan the sky above for eagles. Even more, I don't want this flight to end in disaster. She could be killed in an instant by a passing owl or eagle. Once she's about 200 feet above me, I pull out the lure with my right hand and begin to swing it in a large arc beside me. The rest of the string I hold loosely in my left. I let out a whistle I've perfected. Stark pivots in the air. I watch her fold up and dive. She drops out of the sky and my heart plummets with her. I have to time the arc of the lure with her approach, always swinging the lure away from her. When she gets close, I pull the lure away, slicing the string back with my left hand and swinging in a figure eight. Stark reels up to miss the ground. She rolls and tucks and dives again. I let her get closer, and then I pull the lure around. It's easy to see how smart she is when we play like this. She watches and calculates and swivels her body as she tucks, spirals, and dives. She is so clever, trying to guess my moves. She flies straight into the sun. I can hardly see her, which I think she does on purpose. Suddenly, the somersaults backward and stoops so fast that I gasp at the impact when she smashes into the lure. It's such a savage, primal thing that always brings up my blood. Good! My hands shake as I retrieve the lure from the ground where she's sitting on it. I'm so proud, though I'm not sure what part I'm proud of. Proud of how pretty she is, proud that she hit the lure with deadly accuracy, or that she chooses me over flying free. When I pluck her from the ground, she's flapping and jazzed. I can feel her move through the pressure of her grip on my fist. She grabs the lure back with an outstretched talon and holds it with one foot. I let her break into the meat I'm clutching between my fingers. She eats on my fist. I'm going to miss you so much. My throat aches a little as I watch her. Her sharp eyes glance dispassionately my way, then go back to her kill. Chapter 4, page 24. I'm going to read just a little bit of this chapter for us to get into it. We'll be gone 4 days, Gav. You think you'll have enough reading material? I ask as Gavin lugs another box of comics from his room. 1 box limit, Dad says. But I have to bring issues 37 through 49 for traders, Gavin explains. What if I meet someone who has issue number 3 and he wants to trade? Gavin is obsessed with his quest for number 3. He spends most of his internet 45 on it. I hardly ever use my daily 45 minutes of computer time, since it doesn't take me long to check my Facebook page. I have 28 friends. My neighbor Michelle, who goes to a real school, has 781. I have no idea what it would be like to have that many friends. 1 box, Dad repeats. You're just going to have to make a decision. Life is full of tough choices. Gavin mutters something as he turns to bring his box back to his room. My bag is only half full. Since this isn't going to be like a vacation, more like a funeral, I packed jeans and black t-shirts, also my hoodie, which is my favorite color, white. When we load Stark into a tall and narrow wooden box built into the back of our green van, I hope that she will rage. I want her to fight against the hawk box, to flap and squawk and show Dad that she wants to stay here. But she goes in with no problem. The guilt I feel burns me from the inside out. She doesn't realize we're taking her away. After all my time getting her to trust me, now I'm betraying her. Inside my head, I'm raging for her. Text me when you get there, Mom says, handing Dad his phone. He leans in to kiss her, then she kisses us, and we roll out of our driveway under the arch that reads, Beaver Tree National Forest, Birds of Prey Education Center, in red letters. We're already late, Dad says. I wanted to be on the road before 8. We've got one day to get there and one day to see Stark settled in. Then I thought we'd detour on the way back through Glacier National Park, do some camping. May as well take a few days for outdoor classroom, huh? Yeah, Dad, that's great, I say. All right, who's up for I Spy? Dad yells, as if he can change the mood in the car with the force of his voice. Me! Gavin has an insatiable obsession with our family version of I Spy, or Wildlife ID. It usually consists of describing species that aren't even found in Montana. But if you can correctly describe color, shape, and distinguishing markings of what you happened to see, then you get a point. Dad, we haven't even reached town yet. I stare out the window from the back seat, the closest I can get to Stark's box. Never too early for games, my little wild child, Dad says. I spy. I tune them out as I stare at the colorful sedimentary rock and low buttes. The prairie on the left of us, the pine forest on the right. Something mottled brown and dark brown tips. Gavin calls out, It's going to be a long trip. I settle further into the seat as I take out my apprentice study guide and look at the photos of bumblefoot infection, but I can't concentrate. Even though Stark is in her crate behind me, I'm the one who feels caged. I'm going to stop right there on page 26. You'll see it's kind of a little break right here in the chapter. So we'll stop there and continue tomorrow. Thank you so much, fifth grade champions. Look forward to reading with you tomorrow.